Hey everyone, here with me I have my mom, and we're going to be talking about Generation Z,
And Generation X.
and I'm going to ask her 6 questions about her culture, and I'm going to give my responses to them as well. So, in your culture, do you feel like your language is more indirect or more direct?
I feel like it's more direct
Why?
because we don't try to stop our way of thinking or ideas because we're not thinking of like, oh, it's gonna hurt that person's feelings or things like that. It's like it's just get to the point
Right.
and get it over with.
Yeah, I feel like in my generation, at least for me, we we normally just kind of beat around the bush. We don't really like say what like we mean right away, or we try to like hide our feelings, or when it comes to like saying no to people, we kind of be like, oh, I'll see if I can go, or oh, I'll see if I can make it, or I might be busy that day, or stuff like that. And we just kind of we don't like being straightforward most of the time, and I feel like it's because we don't like denying people, I guess, or like really just again like just saying no. um, yeah. All right, how does your culture feel about small talk?
Me personally, I don't initiate it in the stores, or example like the cashier or something. If they initiate it with me, I continue it.
Right.
But I don't, my personality is that
Yeah.
that I don't start the conversation,
Yeah.
but I go along with it.
Because with me, I feel like it's the same where, sometimes I'll initiate it. It kind of depends on like how I'm feeling, and if the person is showing that they're professional, and they seem kind. Usually I'll try and start something just to kind of get my shyness out, because I'm very shy. I feel like a lot of people in my generation are very shy. So I feel like the more we can talk, the better we feel, and we're like, oh man, I was able to talk to someone today.
Yeah.
Wow. But I just feel like for my generation, I feel like it is hard. We either have a full blown conversation, or we don't say anything. We just kind of go on with our day. And so, how does your culture feel about interrupting during a conversation?
Me personally, I like to let the person talk when they're talking to me.
Right.
And sometimes I might jump in because I get excited.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I let them say what they're saying, and then that way I can focus and listen to what they're saying, and hopefully have a good answer for them, or a good reply, or comeback.
Yeah. Yeah, because with my generation, well, I don't know about my generation, but I know with me, I do interrupt a lot, and I hate that I do that. But it's because like I forget what I'm gonna say most of the time, because it's on my mind, and I'm listening to the other person talk, and I'm trying to like keep that information in my head, and then as soon as they're done talking, the thought I had is gone. So most of the time, what I try to do, which I don't mean to do it, is I just throw in a couple words, because then it gets in their head, and then if I forget, they'd be like, "Oh, you were here," like they would tell me where I was at, basically.
Yeah.
And that keeps it in my mind longer. But I just,
What was I saying?
But I just hate that I do that. It's a bad habit that I need to break. Yeah. And so, what's something you like about how your culture communicates?
That we still like to interact with people, like talk to them, pick up the phone and call them instead of just texting.
Right.
Which is the easy way out, when you don't want to deal with anything. But
yeah.
Sometimes you just want to just call and talk to the person. That's really it.
That's really it. Yeah. With me, like I can agree with that. Somewhat. How like we probably should call our friends or family, whoever. But I feel like it depends on the scenario. Like if it's like a birthday, yeah, you should probably call them.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd
More
be
personal.
nicer. Yeah, it's more personal. Exactly. But I feel like for my generation, we just like texting. You know, it's easier for us,
Yeah.
especially now with like, you know, a lot of, you know, the new phones. They have like text to speech, so you can be like, oh, hey Siri, you know, text blah 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 this, you know. And like a lot of the time, it's just feel like not like trying to be selfish. I don't think mean to be, but like we just don't like talking to people on the phone most of the time. You know, if we do, it's we have like our earbuds in and we're just walking
It'll
around
be
talking.
weird maybe for your friends too. Like, I was like, what are you calling me?
Yeah, right. It is weird. Or like I feel like the only time me and my friends call is like we're just messing with each other. Like we'll just call each
Yeah.
other, say something random, and then just hang up.
Yeah.
Like it's usually what we do.
Yeah.
But no, texting I feel like is something a lot of us do a lot more than calling. We only really call when it's urgent, where it's like, oh my god, did you hear this? Like when we're gossiping maybe, but I don't really do that. I feel like it's more of like my girlfriend's type of thing. Yeah. So what's something you dislike?
That one's hard.
That one's hard.
Because I can't dislike. But my generation?
Yeah, how they communicate.
I don't. Honestly, I don't.
You don't have anything you
No,
dislike?
I don't have anything.
Nothing,
Not that I'm not saying we're a perfect generation.
Yeah, nobody's.
But I'm like, yeah, I mean, we grew up in a generation that was like, not so concerned about
Feelings.
not even the feelings about the racism and all this stuff, because us it was just it wasn't thrown into our heads in school.
Yeah.
It was just like
It was just words.
Yeah.
It's like no
there's
one really...
certain words that we would say that today you say it, you're like, oh my god, you know.
Yeah, right.
But if we don't control ourselves with the way I think in this time, it'll look bad.
Right.
Maybe that's the only thing about our generation, but I don't think it's bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't.
Yeah. But you're still not gonna say it because
I'm not gonna say it.
Because you've kind of learned.
Yeah.
You know that it's bad.
I want to respect.
Yeah, you're gonna respect
other
people.
people's feelings, and I'm not gonna say what my generation would have said back in the day.
Because if you know it's gonna offend them, you're not gonna say it just because you're part of this generation.
Yeah.
You know.
It's not gonna be an excuse like, oh yeah, well my generation used to say.
Yeah.
I say it with my kids, but otherwise, you know.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And then my generation, I feel like the thing I hate is probably that we're not straightforward most of the time. You know, we like with me a lot of the time when people ask me to go and I just don't want to go, mainly because I'm antisocial or I just, you know, I just feel like not going, or maybe I don't like that person that much. I won't say no. I will never say no. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll see if I can make it. And when I was younger, I don't know if I feel like I did a couple times. I asked you to say no to me.
Oh yeah. Camille did all the time.
I know Camille did, but I think I maybe asked you like once or twice to say no to me, so I can be like, oh man, can't go.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Man. But yeah, again, going back to what I hate about how my generation speaks, we're not straightforward, and you know we never get to the point. We like hide our feelings, we hide our thoughts. You know, we feel like it's gonna hurt the person, but I feel like if you keep it in longer, and then they find out especially after you've let it build up, it hurts even more, because then you have so much more to say. Then you just like end it right here, right now, or just tell them how you feel right there. But I feel like it just builds up over time. Yeah.
Part of communication.
Yeah. Well, that marks the end of the interview. Appreciate you for lending me your time, and thank you guys for watching.